This is my third Arduino program project. I believe I started this, I wrote this more or less by scratch, but I was looking at another program that read an analog sensor to do it. It's a very basic program. I declare a floating variable for calibration fudge factor, which I put in later. That just adjusts the left CDS reading. Then I put int for the 3 different LEDs. Actually 4 different LEDs. I included the yellow, it's just 13 by default. But basically my red, green, and blue. And then I declared a couple variables for right CDS and left CDS, and where they're going to be found on A0 and A1. And then I declared an initial value for left and initial value for right, and a value for HS, which is my hysteresis. So basically, if the one CDS cell is receiving more light than the other one, then the red light will go on. If the other opposite way, the blue light will go on, right, left. And if they're both getting equal light, more or less, within this hysteresis window I declared here, which is 8. So within 8 of each other, the green light is going to show, mean they're centered. Alright, so that's my setup loop. And then I get to my main loop, and all I'm doing here is reading the left, actually reading the right, reading the left, putting them into the variables, and then I adjust the left variable, LF equals LF times LCalb, which is my calibration fudge factor. That just makes the two sensors look more equal, because they weren't quite giving me the same readings. And then I do a serial prints in here, which gives me a serial display on the serial monitor of the left and right values, so I can compare how they're looking. And then finally I write to the LEDs a Y LED, which is the yellow LED, just showing that there's just flashes once, basically, showing the loop. And then I do some comparisons here. I compare the left to the right plus hysteresis, and if left is greater than right plus that fudge factor of hysteresis, then the right LED will go on, and then after a delay of 250, it'll go off. And the same else if for the left, everything's switched around for the blue LED and reading the left sensor this time compared to the right. And then if all that bails through, then else I turn on the green LED. So if they're within that little window I added in, that hysteresis window of 4 or 5 either way, I think I got it set to 4 right now. Yeah, I do. I used to have it set to 5. So if either one's within 4 of the other, the light will stay off and go green instead. That's kind of a rough explanation. And then to see it in action here, back up. I should lay it flat, actually, so it works. Alright, so right now the two CDS cells are picking up the same amount of light, so I'm green. And if one of them's kind of shaded, it'll go red. If the other one's shaded, it'll go blue. And this is basically the rudiments of a solar tracker. If I had these two sensors angled properly, and then had a motor engaging for the red and the, I could have it figure out how to get into the green zone by moving motor one way or moving another motor back the other way. So that's my third experiment. And I didn't do this on a proto board because I was keeping this all in this little thing for the moment. Okay, and here's the serial monitor view of that same program. And you can see I'm giving my left value and my right value. I can cover the different ones, covering the one, covering the other. You can see how they change. And I'm going from red to green to blue, depending on how I have the thing tilted. You know, whichever CDS cell's picking up the most light. So like I said, this is the rudiments of, you know, possibly of a solar controller or some other kind of controller like that.